Okay, hello everyone. I am Hong Zhang from Hong Kong Baptist University. And today I will talk about our proposal for multilingual misinformation detection in low-resource domains with conversation-based reasoning. This is an outline for my presentation. So let me first state our proposed problem. As a result of the internet's rapid expansion, social media has become a useful online platform for individuals to share information and express ideas. However, the dissemination of misinformation greatly hinders the truth. With the global COVID-19, interest in misinformation detection on social media has grown dramatically over the past few years. So, thus, it is urgent to detect misinformation about emerging events propagated in different languages, particularly in Singapore, such a multilingual city. So based on this, we propose a novel and challenging task setting as cross-lingual and cross-domain for few shot, even zero-shot transfer. Intuitively, for instance, the misinformation detection model could be just trained on politics domain in English and could further be applied and tested on COVID-19 and in the other languages, even minority, like Arabic. So besides, as shown in the lower right example, the diffusion of the misinformation could generally follow a propagation tree that provides valuable clues on how a claim is transmitted and how the claim is opinionated by users over time. So the conversation thread of a claim could be leveraged as an indicative signal to help assist the misinformation prediction. So the challenges mainly lie in three aspects. The first is the training and testing corpus cannot always be monolingual, and even the target tested corpus could be multilingual, which is a more complex and realistic problem. So the second is emerging events such as COVID-19 lack the training data and poor prior knowledge for annotation. So such events could lead to the low resource domain issue. Okay, so how to transfer the social context of a claim in such a cross-lingual and cross-domain settings would be an interesting and meaningful problem to explore. Okay, for the value proposition, as mentioned before, in the area of the internet, the misinformation can spread easily and quickly, as there are a large amount of active users on the internet in Singapore. That is a society with diverse lingual contexts of 4 official languages. So this proposal could help to bridge the language gap for the misinformation detection on social media, and it can detect rumors at an early stage, and also it could contribute to both the academic research and the growth of industries like how to instruct or prompt the ChatGPT to conduct fact-checking about break events. Okay, let me introduce some existing solutions related to our proposal. The first is handcrafted feature solutions on traditional machine learning relying on post-content user credibility, conversation propagation, and even diffusion and cascades, etc. The subsequent kind of deep NN solutions focused on the time sequence-based approaches like RNN, CNN, and hierarchical attention mechanism and credibility propagation networks, etc. However, these studies largely oversimplified the complex propagation structures, which just models the post structure as a sequence and requires segmenting data carefully for the preparation of the time sequences. So to combine the conversation structure with the deep learning technology, tree-kernel recursive neural networks, graph neural networks, and the tree transformer, etc. were proposed to mine effective clues simultaneously from the semantics of post contents and the structures of conversation threads. Despite their promising performance, they fail in the low resource regimes where the distribution of characteristics associated with misinformation may change over time in unforeseen ways. So this proposal, we believe it would be challenging to build on existing structure-based networks to extend previous efforts to cross-domain or unsupervised settings. Although there already have been some domain and language adaptation techniques like domain adversarial neural network, domain adaptive contrastive learning, and multilingual pre-trained language models. Different from these works of adaptation on multimodal or unstructured textual data. This proposal focuses on the language and domain adaptation to detect multilingual misinformation from the low-resource microblog posts corresponding to breaking events by considering its claim together with its more complex propagation structures of community response. So this proposal aims to leverage one well-resourced domain and language to train a misinformation classifier agnostic to a specific language and domain for detecting multilingual misinformation in low-resource domains and languages. So for the target source data, for the source data set for training, it could be a set of events where each event is a tuple representing a given claim with its veracity label and ideally all its responsive replies. For the target datasets, there could be fewer, even no training data in real world for the low resource issue. So we just consider a much smaller training data set for the target data. Each point data has a similar composition structure with as the source data. There have some existing usage for the source data set. There have been some popular benchmarks for the Twitter, Femi, or Weibo. They are in the religion and politics and some open domains, etc. So these existing datasets with the conversation threads on social media could be utilized as the well-resource data for the training. And for the target data, we could resort to the original dataset that collected tweet claims from for the breaking events such as COVID-19 in multilingual, even low-resource languages. So more specifically, we could extend the raw existing datasets for emerging events by collecting their conversation threads via Twitter academic or Weibo API. So according to the available resources, there are about 8 more languages could be considered as the target language in this challenge. As this is a classification problem, so we would use the macro F1 and class-specific F1 for our misinformation detection and early detection in this proposal. One feasible solutions for this proposal is to pre-train a structure-based network on source training data and fine-tune it on the target training data. And another potential solution is the use of contrastive learning, prompt learning, and adversarial learning on top of multilingual pre-trained language models for the domain language transfer. And finally, it may be useful to consider incorporating user feedback to the detection process, which could involve checking how misinformation spreads through a conversation or across social media platforms. In conclusion, this proposal aims to explore a principled and intelligent way of multilingual misinformation detection in low-resource domains. So it just summarizes the challenges into one statement: is how to better capture and transfer the social context of the claims in the source languages and domains to detect target multilingual misinformation in the low-resource domains. Okay, thank you. That's all.